Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is Manifest with Me in March, episode 3. So welcome back, you guys. I'm so excited to continue this process with you. If you are just joining me and you're wondering what Manifest with Me in March is, basically it's a free course that I'm offering here on my channel. All you have to do is just come to my channel every day, and a new video will be posted which will help you to learn how to use the moon cycle and the law of attraction in order to manifest. So go ahead and catch up on episodes 1 and 2. You're not behind right now at all. It's not too late to join and start watching this series. It doesn't really officially start until March 24th. All these episodes until March 24th, the new moon, are just all about priming your energy and teaching you about the moon cycle and the law of attraction and just getting you guys hyped up and ready to go. So is there anything that you need to do right now? No. All you got to do is just watch, open your mind, and get ready to manifest starting on March 24th. So today's episode is all about making room for your manifestations. So when you're manifesting, what you're doing is basically creating something out of nothing. So you are going to bring something new into your life, whether you're manifesting a new romantic partner, a bunch of cash, a new job, a new lifestyle, something really big or something really small, or you have a whole list of things that you want to manifest. You're still gonna have to make room for these manifestations. Sometimes the way that we live our life and the things that we surround ourselves with physically and mentally and emotionally can block our manifestations from coming in or can make us feel overwhelmed when we're manifesting. So today we're just gonna talk about 5 tips or 5 ways to prime your energy and to make room for your manifestations, okay? So number 1 is getting rid of physical clutter. This is probably one of my biggest tips for manifesting, something that helped me a lot. When I was trying to manifest travel, I was like living in a house and I had like all of this furniture and I had like a huge wardrobe full of tons of clothes and lots of shoes and just like all these things I was collecting. And I remember just looking at it all and going, I am not going to be able to fit all of this into like 2 suitcases. So if I really do want to travel, something's got to give. So the first thing I did was I went to my closet and I went to my shoes and I like got a little box like for a donation to take to donations like Goodwill. And I started putting my shoes in there. And it was hard for me because I don't know like if any of you guys are like this, but shoes used to be my everything. And I'm actually, funny enough, I'm sitting next to 2 pairs. I own 3 pairs of shoes right now. That's it. I used to own like, I don't even know, 50, 100 pairs. It was just, I barely wore any of it, and it was just something I was using to like make myself feel comfortable. Sometimes we just collect so much stuff. And so I realized I can't fit all these here. And so some of them I decided to sell so that I could maybe save some more money for traveling, but the rest of it, I put it in a box and I took it to donate it. So I encourage you not to go too far and get rid of things that you need, but to start going through your home and just getting rid of any clutter. And maybe you're probably not trying to manifest travel, maybe some of you guys are, but any clutter that you have, like if you're trying to manifest abundance and you have an abundance of crap around you, sometimes that energy is like keeping us from manifesting more. If you need something, you're going to manifest it because it's like, I need it. I remember there was a time I was trying to manifest clothes, and so I had a lot of things hanging in my closet that didn't fit me and I never wore, but I had it hanging there kind of as like a security blanket because I was like, well, maybe I will wear it one day, or like I don't really have much to wear, so if I just keep this here, it makes me feel better. But I went through, I got rid of everything. I literally had like 3 outfits, and I don't know if any of my friends from LA are watching, you'll remember that I was always wearing the pair of jeans, my Adidas, and like my little blue sweater, and I wore that like almost every day because that was when I was trying to manifest clothes and I got rid of everything. So, you know, and what's beautiful too is that there's people out there who might need the things that you have. You can donate the things that you don't need. Please don't just throw it in the trash. Try to donate, and you know, one person's trash is another person's treasure. You can also have a yard sale and maybe get some money to save up for some of your manifestations. And you can also put things on eBay or on Depop. It's pretty cool. Like, you actually might be able to get some abundance for selling the things you no longer need. So getting rid of clutter energetically really, really helps. Like, that's part of energy healing and energy clearing. So get rid of clutter, number one. Number two, working on your past. We're gonna have a whole episode dedicated to clearing the root chakra, but you can start on it right now if you want extra credit points and you're so eager to get manifesting. This is something that you can do right now that will really, really help. Just like having physical clutter around can block manifestations, having emotional clutter around can also block your manifestations, okay? We all, in life, unfortunately go through trauma. It could be childhood trauma from the way that you were brought up, the community that you were in, the society that you were in, if you grew up in like a war-torn country, or if you were bullied in school, or if you didn't have the best, school experience, or one or both of your parents was less than loving, or maybe you had abusive romantic partners, or you grew up in poverty, or you got in an accident, or you had a near-death experience, or someone that you loved died. Like, usually when these types of things happen, our brain does something really beautiful and really amazing, and what it does is it goes into like a survival mode, and it like pushes these memories and these things that have happened like way down in your brain and like files them away for like a later date when you can actually process it. Because sometimes you have to survive. Sometimes in the moment you don't have time to process what happened. Like, sometimes somebody dies, but like you're also going through financial struggles, so you have to go to work every day, and there's a lot that's expected of you, and you have to feed your children and keep food on the table, and it's like you never have time to process like the death of your parent or something. And like you cry a little bit and it's hard for you, but like you just kind of push through it. And a lot of us do that. It can come out later as symptoms, physical symptoms in the body, manifestations being blocked, mental conditions, depression, anxiety, PTSD, whatever. I think there's kind of a stigma in our society against mental health where we feel as if maybe like we're weak or something if we go get therapy, or we don't really have the tools to know how to process things, and we don't really know what to do. Sometimes we just have a lot of pent-up stress and trauma and emotional baggage, and the energy center in our body that contains that is like the root chakra at the base of your spine. The root chakra contains your past life memories, traumas, things that have happened in the past, childhood memories, things like that. But it's also the center for your stability and for your security and for your ability to manifest and generate abundance. So if your root chakra is clogged, you will have a difficult time manifesting because you're in a state of resistance and there's just a lot of junk up in there. So you can do certain things like, we're gonna meditate, you guys. I'm gonna make a lot of meditations and help you heal that. And look, this is not something that you can do overnight. There's not just like one meditation or one technique that's gonna clean out your root chakra and heal all your trauma forever. It's a process, and there's some trauma that you might heal, like be on the process of healing for the rest of your life. But what's important is that you're just aware. Sometimes just awareness and consciousness that like, yeah, you know what? I never really got over that breakup. That totally put a chip on my shoulder. Maybe my parent was kind of emotionally and psychologically abusive, and maybe that is why like I'm kind of afraid of relationships, or why I kind of put walls up in romantic relationships, like it's just all about being conscious and just learning more about yourself. There's a way that you can help release some of these energies, and that's through just, instead of running away from the trauma and the things that have happened in your life, it's like turning towards it and running towards it. One of my favorite ways, writing down some of your worst memories, or what's really upsetting you, or what you really feel about that breakup, how much you really miss your mom who passed away, the abuse that happened that you never spoke about. And it's really hard and it's really scary when you finally write down your emotions and your feelings and everything that's happened, but it's also really freeing to be like, wow, I believe me, this happened. Like, sometimes just paying attention to it helps. And then after you're done writing it down, you can take that journal or that piece of paper and like rip it up or like burn it, throw it away, and that's like a symbol of like releasing the energy. Like it's like cutting the energetic cords that are keeping you attached to those memories and traumas and holding you back. And sometimes you have to repeat that technique like over and over. I think a lot of traumas in our life come from relationships with people, and sometimes we never get the ability to have closure with certain people. So if you can even write a letter to the person or the people who hurt you, now do not send the letter. You don't want to dig up drama right now, but it's like a personal letter that no one else will see but you. And at the end of the letter, once you're done getting out your feelings and your emotions and going off on them or whatever, at the end you can write something like, I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you, I am free and you are free. Then rip up the letter, burn the letter, imagine yourself cutting the energetic cords between you and that person that's been bothering you or that's been on your mind, and you will feel relief and a real 3D healing will happen. And sometimes you do have to repeat this process a couple times, but it works. The whole phrase, I'm sorry, I forgive you, thank you, I love you, I am free and you are free, is like a old Hawaiian ancient technique called the Ho'oponopono. And I learned that years ago from someone who was like mentoring me, and whew, it has changed my life. So this technique I'm telling you guys about writing things down and like writing letters to people, writing and ripping it up and burning it, I did it. And I noticed like that's when stuff really started manifesting for me, was when I actually started doing these types of healings and meditations on my root chakra. It is all about the root chakra. Manifestation, your ability to manifest, has a lot to do with the vibrancy of your root chakra. So that's gonna be a whole other episode, but if you wanna get a head start and you're like, yeah, I wanna clear and I'm like so ready to manifest, you can get a head start on writing in your journal and writing letters. Extra points for enrolling in therapy with a licensed therapist and counselor who specializes in like trauma or trauma recovery. I definitely think I've been to therapy, I'm in therapy, it helps so much. And that is another way to like heal your root chakra, is to like have a safe space to talk about it. Card readings also help. You know, sometimes when something's on my mind, I go see like a card reader, but there's some things that need to be worked through with a professional therapist and counselor, okay? So now let's go on to number 3. So, third way to make room for your manifestation is releasing habits that no longer serve you. So this is a really hard one, but I think everybody has like vices, whether it's drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes, or it's like eating lots of fast food, or it's binge watching like really like kind of anxiety-driven TV shows or whatever. We have habits. We have habits that we know are not healthy for ourselves and aren't helping. And I know when you have like an addiction or a habit, it's very, very difficult to quit. But I want to encourage you guys to like cut back, okay? Maybe don't make your whole thing to completely quit. If you can quit and release a bad habit, amazing. Like if you spend a lot of money and you're always shopping and impulse buying stuff at Target, but you're trying to manifest saving money or like having money to buy the house of your dreams, like obviously something's got to give. So if you could just make some type of goal to cut back. Sometimes we want to manifest. I talk to people who want to manifest and then I later find out like they're an alcoholic, and I know how hard that is. I feel so bad for people who are having like extreme addictions and stuff, but like things like that really mess with your energy centers, and your vibration and your frequency and your energy like helps you to manifest. And so how can you manifest if you have like an extreme addiction or you are leaking energy? I talked to some people who, you know, were hooking up with 4 or 5 different guys, or who are serial dating in relationships, hopping from relationship to relationship, can never be alone. I even talk to people who just can't be alone. Like, they always have to, like, once one friend leaves, they gotta call their next friend to come over. I used to be like that, by the way, you guys, because when I was alone with myself, I had to be alone with my thoughts. And my thoughts were screaming at me that there was like trauma and all this stuff that like I needed to handle. So oftentimes these habits that we have are formed to like help us, and I think it's really sweet that our body and our mind and our spirit self-medicates like that to try to help us, but there's better ways and better techniques for us to like help ourselves and to be present with ourselves. So a lot of these habits, bad habits we have, are just ways to like escape reality and to escape like our pain and our trauma. And once you finally go down to like the emotional root of why you have this habit or why you have this addiction, it's usually caused by feeling abandoned or neglected, or like a way to escape from something that happened, or sometimes it's boredom. So I think by maybe trying some of the techniques that we just talked about in number 2, and maybe also bringing some more fun into your life, you might not feel the need to have that habit as much, okay? So touchy subject, I know, you guys. At least like kind of make a pact with yourself or make a plan to try to cut back. And also don't be hard on yourself if you have a habit or addiction. Pretty much everybody does, and it doesn't make it right. Like a lot of these habits can hurt you, but it's very human. And I think, you know, being ashamed and hating yourself and being mad at yourself usually drives you deeper into it. So self-love all the way, love yourself. This is like a human experience. No one said it was gonna be easy, and just cut back a little bit because you want your energy to be like primed to be able to manifest, okay? So another way to make room for your manifestations, this is number 4, is to keep your plans open. Okay, this is like more of a concept and like a way of being versus like something you actually physically do. But I know that there's some people that have a very strict view of like how the future is gonna be, and a very like 5-year plan. And sometimes you make plans and God laughs, okay? Sometimes on the path to manifesting, you end up like kind of going on like a side path, or like taking a shortcut, or like your life evolves sometimes on the path of manifesting. And as you start manifesting, you realize, wow, the dreams and the hopes I had for my life, like I'm selling myself short. Like I'm getting good at this manifesting thing. Maybe I'll have a bigger dream or a bigger goal. Sometimes the hardest part about the manifestation process is admitting to yourself what you actually want and what you actually desire, and like feeling worthy of that. So that's hard. And I think by keeping your plans loose and by just being open-minded, like of course have your goals that you want to manifest, but just as you go through this process, making room for how it comes and being open-minded to how things manifest can really help. Finally, number 5, and this is another thing I'm gonna make a whole episode about. I think this is probably, I'd say like the most important part of manifesting, how to make room, is to release timing. At this point, you've probably been thinking a little bit about what you want to manifest as we do this series. I think the biggest thing that blocks our manifestations is hanging on to a specific timeline. Being like, I need this car next month because if I don't have it, then like I don't know how I'm gonna get to work. I have to have a boyfriend by the time this family event happens so I can bring them as my date. I need to have a new job by this date because if I don't, then this. Like we start in our mind thinking of like worst case scenarios, and our mind is programmed to like worry and predict and to try to figure things out. So that's the hardest part about manifestation, is like at a certain point surrendering and releasing control and being open to the divine timing. When I'm doing this series every year, always commenting, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't it working? It's not working for me. It's not happened. It hasn't manifested yet. And I'm like, the reason it hasn't manifested is because you think it's not working, because you're not releasing the timeline. And it's the most frustrating thing. I am not a patient person. I have ADHD, I have like anxiety, I'm like really like Aquarius, like future-oriented person. I'm not patient. I'm like very, very, very impatient. I talk fast, I think fast. This manifesting process has really humbled me and really taught me to trust in the divine timing of the universe, because every single thing I have manifested has come at the perfect time. Like a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to book my summer plans because I'm getting ready to, you know, where am I gonna summer this year as I travel? And I'm like, I gotta be by the beach this year, I gotta be on the water. And I was like so ready to book a place, and like I tried, and like for some reason it didn't work back. The host didn't get to me, and like someone else bought the place I wanted. I was so mad because it was beautiful and perfect. And like I meditated on it and I pulled cards, and I got this message like to wait. Like I needed to wait to get the place. And I was like, why? I have all the money. Like I can get the plane ticket. Like I know where I want to go. There's no problem. Why do I have to wait? And there just kept being roadblocks and me trying to figure out where I was gonna go summer. And then this whole coronavirus thing happened. And now it makes so much sense why I needed to kind of wait and just like take it day by day before I decide where I'm gonna go and like what I'm gonna do this summer. So it's so weird. Like sometimes the universe will put a block up and won't bring something through at a specific time, even though everything seems like it's gonna align, even though you really need it to happen then. But it's like for a very beautiful specific reason. You know, so, and then sometimes there's certain manifestations that are just never gonna come through because it's not meant to be. Like, I'm really glad that I didn't manifest marrying my 7th grade boyfriend. I wanted to manifest that. I didn't know what manifesting was back then, but I remember praying to Jesus when I was little and being like, I want to marry him, and why won't we marry, and why won't we stay together forever? And then we broke up, and I was devastated, and I was like, he was the one. And gosh, well now, years later, I'm really happy that I did not manifest marrying my 7th grade boyfriend. So think about how many things you've asked for and how many things you've wanted to have happen that you tried to manifest that didn't come through, and then later you realize you really didn't want that anyways. So there is kind of a higher power or higher energy that does kind of know. So that's why like trusting in divine timing and being open to divine timing and going into this process, releasing timelines, is gonna help you so much, you guys, okay? And we'll have more episodes on releasing timelines because I feel like that's something we all just like need to get on board with. We're gonna have a lot more interactive content coming. It's not always just gonna be me sitting here talking. There's gonna be more interactive content. I'm trying to make this as interesting for you guys as I can, like with these little edits that my video editor is doing for me. We're gonna have some cool meditations, some cool affirmations, some cool like work techniques for you guys to do. I bet so many of you are like just ready to take action on this point, but just wait. March 24th, we're gonna get to work. Until then, just keep coming to my channel every day and we'll prime our energy together and keep digging into this, all right? If you guys have any questions about the manifestation process, feel free to leave them below. I'll probably answer them like in other episodes. Like it's all the questions you guys have, I'm probably gonna cover it in this series. There's gonna be like 30 videos, but just in case, write your questions down below and I can make sure as I continue to record this series that I'm like as thorough as possible. So anything you need to know, I might not comment you back, or maybe I'll comment you back like a little heart or something so you know I saw it, but I'll be taking notes and make sure like I add it into this series, okay? So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Happy spring. It's finally, we've just had the spring equinox. It's like officially spring. There's some beautiful energy. Any of you guys out there who are like quarantining and social distancing and staying inside right now, I know how hard it is. Hopefully this series is helping you guys to stay like a little bit encouraged and inspired. I will see you guys later. Peace out.